I wasn't feeling too well, so I booked an appointment to see a gynecologist at a big hospital in the city. It had been a while since I had a proper checkup, and I just wanted to be sure everything was okay. The nurse told me to wait, and after a few minutes, she called my name and led me into the doctor's office. As I stepped in, I froze for a moment. The man sitting behind the desk looked up, and my heart skipped a beat. It was Emeka, my ex-boyfriend from university. He looked shocked too. His eyes widened, and then a small smile appeared on his face. "Chioma," he said softly. I nodded, almost speechless. "Emeka." He stood up and laughed a little, rubbing the back of his neck. "Wow, this is unexpected." I couldn't help but smile too, though I felt a bit awkward. "I didn't know you became a doctor." "Well, yeah, I guess life took us both far," he said. "Please, have a seat." I sat down, still trying to process everything. So many memories rushed back. Late night studying in the library, walking around campus, our silly fights, and the way we had ended things. It wasn't bitter, just incomplete. He cleared his throat, suddenly turning serious. "So, let's focus on why you came in today." "Yes, of course," I said, trying to sound calm. But inside, my mind was running in circles. He picked up his pen and looked at the file in front of him. "So, tell me what's been going on," he said, his voice now more professional, but I could still feel a trace of nervousness. I explained my symptoms, some irregular pain and discomfort, and he listened carefully, nodding along. He asked a few more questions, typed on his computer, and then paused. "I need to do a basic checkup. But don't worry, we'll keep everything respectful and professional," he said gently. I nodded. "I trust you." That sentence felt heavier than I meant it to. For a second, we both looked at each other. There was a silence, not uncomfortable, but full of unsaid things. After the examination, he gave me some prescriptions and assured me it didn't look serious but still advised a few tests. Then, he leaned back in his chair, folding his hands. "Chioma, it's really something seeing you again after all these years," he said. "Yeah," I replied. "You've changed. In a good way." He smiled. "You've changed too." But still the same smile. I blushed a little and looked away. "So, are you married now?" He chuckled. "No. Not yet." "You?" I shook my head. "No. Life's been busy." He nodded slowly, and for a moment, the room felt small, like we were back at school, sitting under the tree near the hostel, talking about the future. There was a knock on the door, and the nurse peeked in. "Doctor, your next patient is here." He nodded. "I'll be with them shortly." I stood up, picking my bag. "Thanks for today." "Really?" He walked me to the door. "Chioma, if you ever want to catch up, maybe just talk." "I'd like that." I paused at the door, turned slightly, and smiled. "Maybe I would too." Then I walked out, my heart confused, part of me thinking about my health, and part of me wondering if fate had just reopened a door I thought was closed forever. As I stepped out of the hospital building into the warm afternoon sun, I let out a long breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. I stood by the gate for a moment, feeling the breeze against my face, my thoughts racing. Seeing Emeka again had shaken something inside me. It wasn't just surprise, it was a mix of emotions I couldn't fully name. Memories I had buried under work, responsibilities, and time had come rushing back like a flood. I remembered how he used to walk me to class, how he made me laugh when I was stressed, and how he used to call me my strongest girl. And now, he was a doctor. Calm, gentle, focused. The same eyes, but more mature. The same voice, but more careful with words. As I walked toward the bus stop, I kept replaying our conversation in my head. Every glance. Every smile. Every pause. Part of me wanted to brush it off. It's nothing, I told myself. Just an old face from the past. Nothing more. But the other part of me. It felt something stir. A soft curiosity. A quiet warmth. Something I hadn't felt in a long time. By the time I got home, I was tired, but I didn't even change out of my clothes right away. I just sat on the edge of my bed, holding the slip of paper with my prescriptions, and his handwriting on it. I stared at it for a long time. Then I lay back and closed my eyes. "What are you doing, Chioma?" I whispered to myself. But I already knew. Some part of me hoped I'd see him again. The next few days passed quietly, but Emeka stayed on my mind. I went back to work, followed the doctor's instructions, and did my test. Physically, I was fine. But emotionally, something had shifted. One evening, just as I was finishing dinner, my phone buzzed. It was a number I didn't have saved. "Hi Chioma, it's Emeka. I hope you don't mind me reaching out. Just wanted to check how you're feeling." I stared at the message for a few seconds before smiling. I replied, "Hi Emeka. I'm feeling better, thank you. Got my results today. Everything looks okay." A few seconds later, he replied, "I'm glad to hear that. If you're ever free this weekend, maybe we could catch up somewhere outside the hospital this time." I hesitated, then typed, "I'd like that." We met at a quiet cafe not far from the hospital. He was already there when I arrived, dressed simply but neatly, just like I remembered from university days. We talked for hours. About life, work, how things changed and how some things never really did. There was no rush. No pressure. Just two old hearts gently finding their way back to a familiar rhythm. That afternoon led to more meetups. Then long evening calls. Then laughter over shared memories. We took things slow, respecting the years that had passed, and the people we had become. Months later, Emeka came to my parents' house with a small gift and a respectful smile. My mom raised her brows when she recognized him. My dad didn't say much at first, but over time, he too accepted the return of someone he once thought was just part of my past. One rainy Sunday evening, as we sat under the veranda sipping tea, Emeka turned to me. "Chioma, maybe the way we met again wasn't by chance. Maybe life just wanted us to finish what we started." I smiled, resting my head on his shoulder. "Maybe this time, we are both ready." And this time, we didn't let go. The end.